Hey everybody, welcome back to Day 3, Breakfast with Bob from Datev Challenge Roth. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA Fly Human Fly, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Outrigger, Kona Resort and Spa, Stay Longer, Save More, and our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, 2012 Challenge Roth champion, but you know him from GTN because most of the folks had no idea that you even did races. Mr. James Cunnama.
Triathlon's got a short memory. No one remembers me winning a race back in 2012.
No, but it's so funny because we posted photos from the years we've been here, and it's a photo of 2013 when we interviewed you leading into this race. And one of the comments was, the GTN guy?
Yeah, well, you interviewed the GTN guy back then.
Why would you interview the GTN guy? They had no idea that you've won Challenge Roth, Ironman Hamburg, 70.3 Panama City, Embraman, Ironman Nice, Optuez.
We gonna list them all?
Yeah, that's something. And then
I was a pro for a while. I did.
You
were
a pro, and how many times were we top 10 in Kona? Or top
twice,
fourth and eighth,
fourth and fifth.
Fourth and fifth. That's right. Fourth and fifth.
Yeah.
So you had a great career.
I did. Yeah.
And when your career is winding down, and you sort of know when it's winding down, did you have a sense of what you wanted to do?
Not really. I wanted to be involved in the sport. I wanted to, I'm very passionate about triathlon, always have been, and I wanted to stay doing something in the sport. I wasn't sure what that looked like, whether it was coaching or commentating or what it might be. And the opportunity at GTN came up, and I actually wasn't really ready to retire, to be honest. It was the end of COVID. I was on the way back, but we'd also had a kid and then had twins, so Jody and myself had 3 kids, and it was like, actually, if I could get a real job, this would be significantly easier than traveling the world racing triathlons. And the opportunity...
and guarantee a little bit of an income rather than you go to a race, get a niggle, and not only do you not get a payday, but you lose money.
And we are talking the end of COVID too, so guaranteed income for a pro was very difficult thing to do.
Now, were you still living in South Africa at the time?
We were, I actually moved over to the UK specifically to take up the GTN job. So that's just over 4 years ago now, if you can believe that I've been doing this now.
Well, and GTN is over 1 million subscribers now and is really doing a lot to promote the sport. And I love the new thing you're doing is I can do an Ironman in an hour of training a day. I can do a Challenge Roth on an hour of training a day. Is that what it is?
I can try it. I haven't done it yet, Bob.
Well, you did Samarin. I
did the championship in Samarin, and that actually went better than anticipated. So how this came about was, obviously, I've got 3 kids. They're at a time in their lives where I've got 5-year-old twins and a 7-year-old. They're at a time in life where they need a lot of time, and we don't have a lot of time to train. And I was being really inconsistent. Obviously, with GTN, we're doing a lot of challenges. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I was pretty much just doing the challenge and nothing in between, no training whatsoever.
Sort of faking it.
I needed something to kind of keep me consistent. And I thought, well, how fit could I get if I just limited it to a specific amount of time a day, but made sure I did that specific amount of time? And the idea came up to do a full distance triathlon on just 1 hour a day, but nothing more than an hour a day either. So no long rides, no long runs, 1 hour per day, nothing more, nothing less. And the original idea was actually to do Challenge Tower 1 at the end of April, which means this would have all been done and dusted in 4 months from the 1st of January to the end of April. But I couldn't get a visa. I couldn't get my visa sorted out for that. So we pivoted it to this one, and it actually is kind of, as you say, full circle.
Yeah, you won the race.
I've been here, the downside of that is also that Challenge Roth is a notoriously fast course. So where it was, I'll just try and survive an iron distance triathlon on an hour a day. Now it's become, how fast can I go on just an hour a day of training?
Was that your idea or the producer saying, hey, let's pick the ante up a little bit? How fast can you go?
I think it was both. I think we're all quite familiar with the goal inflation that comes when you sign up for one of these things. When you first sign up for an Ironman or a Challenge Roth, your goal is just to finish. And then you do a bit of training and you're like, you know what, I think I can probably do under 13 hours. And you do a bit more and you go, I think I'll probably go under 12. Maybe I'll go under, and then race day comes around and you're going, you know what, I think I'm going to go under 10. And then, of course, you're way too optimistic. It all goes sideways and you're very disappointed that you finished in 12 hours. When your original goal was just to finish, right?
Exactly.
So it's a trap that a lot of people fall into, and potentially one that I might have fallen into this weekend.
So when you did that training leading into Challenge Samarin, how many weeks did you have of 1 hour a day?
Well, Challenge Samarin was supposed to be after the conclusion of this whole thing. I was supposed to then train for that. So that was the middle of May, and I'd been training since the beginning of January on an hour a day. So I'd done 4 months of solid training at an hour a day, but nothing more. And there's all kinds of realizations you have as you do this. Is that like I haven't done more than an hour, so why would I ever take a gel?
Right.
But now I've got to do a full distance triathlon.
So
I'm going to have to take a whole lot of gel.
Yeah, and
exactly.
So your stomach's going,
time
what
in
the
your
hell
bars,
is this?
Time in your aero bars is another one. I mean, I'll literally get out the water and I'll pretty much exceed the longest training session I've done in the leading up to this. So it's going to be an interesting experience.
But when you go into something where you don't have to have expectations, the expectation is I want to get to the stadium before they start breaking it down.
Well, sort of. Although, as I say, that you could say that of a pro too. You do your first challenge, Roth. You have no expectations, but actually,
you do.
You have some expectation, don't you? I have some expectations, Bob.
What are they? Share those.
Well, I don't really know. I expect myself to be fairly consistent. I expect to pace myself well. I expect to be able to execute a decent race. I've done over 50 of these full distance triathlons over the course of my career. Yeah,
50.
So I've got the experience. I can't really go, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I did also have 3.5 years in the wilderness where I had retired and I had no obligation to train. I had young kids. I had this job and I wasn't really inconsistent in any way. I was quite literally at the start of this in January, the unfittest and fattest I've ever been in my life. So
when you're doing this an hour a day, and you'll probably know more afterwards, but do you start thinking back to, maybe I was overtraining back in the day? Because I'm feeling, because you got to be quality. When you're doing an hour a day, you can't just go for a 30-minute ride with a latte. Yeah,
that is an interesting. I don't think I was overtraining. Obviously, as a professional, you had a coach, and it was well structured and everything like that. But I was doing a lot more hours, obviously. I think probably more for like the age groupers, realizing that I don't need 5-6 hour sessions and that consistency is more important for my overall fitness goals and my overall fitness gains, that I got more from just being consistent on 1 hour a day. And even if I'd done a hard session, the next day going out for another hour was more consistent than going, I really feel like I need a rest day. I feel tired. I'm going to take a day off, which turns into 2 days off because something happens the next day. And then you're inconsistent. So then you're like, well, I've got to catch up. So you do 3 hours and then you smash yourself and you're back to this inconsistent kind of roller coaster. And actually, the fitness gains I've made have even surprised me. I mean, I knew obviously there's some kind of memory there, right?
Yes,
And I was trying to wake that memory up. But even so, the fitness gains I've made have been more substantial than I would have predicted just on an hour a day.
That's fascinating. I mean, are you seeing power number? Are you doing testing? And
done testing. I mean, I don't want to give everything away because we do have a video coming out on the channel on this. But my FTV has gone up quite significantly, more than I anticipated. And my fitness, just my ability to do a solid hour of run session is so much better than it was when I started this. It's been quite incredible, and my weight has come down significantly too, which is also, you think like it's 7 hours a week, it's not going to make that much difference to my overall calorie consumption and my overall weight, but actually it's made a massive difference.
When you're doing something like this, I'm sure people are watching it because that's the barrier, right? People are like, oh my God, I don't have the time to do this stuff.
Which is why I want to make this video.
I think it's so perfect for everybody out there that we want new people in the sport.
Yeah.
And they need to know that, okay, if your expectation to win your age division, this is probably not the way to do it.
Yeah.
But if you want to participate, have a family life, build community, enjoy yourself, and not overdo it and end up with some sort of stress fracture, this is not a bad way to go.
Yeah, I think there is a narrative. It goes two ways. Either you can't do an Ironman unless you're doing 15 plus hours a week.
Right.
Otherwise you have no business doing it. And the other one is you need to do big sessions. So these guys are doing 5-6 hour sessions on the weekend away from their family when that's the only time they see their family. So then they don't see your family at all for the whole week because you're at work, and then on the weekend you're out training for your iron distance triathlon. And so it's kind of like this all consuming thing, and you actually can just do little bits at a time and build up, and you can get really close. I mean, as you say, I wouldn't recommend that everyone does this. I would recommend that you do some race prep sessions and you do some brick sessions where you test your nutrition and all that kind of stuff. However, the core part of your training is actually just consistency.
Right.
And yeah, I'm saying all of this a couple days before the race, so it may all go completely sideways, and I'll come back to you afterwards, Bob, and go, this is a bad way to train. I learned nothing from this whatsoever. Don't do this. But hopefully not.
I think you'll be fine. It's going to be fun to watch. And mentally, when you did Samarin and knowing you were doing such little training, when age groupers are going by you and you're a former pro, is that hard? Because that mental side of it is you're a racer.
Yeah, I mean, I think mental side of it, I probably have an advantage there in that I know what it feels like to really hurt. I know what it feels like to be deep in the well and keep going, that you can keep going, that as bad as it feels like you might die, you're not actually going to die. I've been there. And Samarin was a bit like that. It was freezing cold, really cold and miserable and raining, and it was just about overcoming the elements, and so I didn't really think too much about how much training I'd done or my fitness levels or it was just like, right, it's time to tough this out and get to the finish and work as hard as you can. This one, obviously it's twice the distance, so, and it's also going to be maybe 3 times the temperature, so I think it's going to be some different challenges. But yeah, it is going to be a mental game, I think. I think particularly the back end of the marathon. I mean, as I say, I'm going to get out the water. I'm going to exceed the longest training session I did for this. So by the time I get to the back end of the marathon, I'm going to be deep in some kind of hurt locker.
Did you race as an age grouper? Are you racing age group or pro?
I'm racing as an age grouper.
Okay.
Yeah,
How did you do in your age group at Samarin?
I got on the podium. Yeah.
Nice.
I did, yeah. On an hour a day, I got on the podium. So, yeah, I was quite impressed with that. I was really happy with that, actually.
Yeah, it's nice when were you third?
I was third, yeah.
So you're able to say to the second place guy and the first place guy, you know what? The reality is...
I didn't say that. I feel like that was a bit on the nose.
The reality is how much training I'm training 15 hours a week. You guys were doing 30 hours. You did 100 hours. Wait, 50, 30 hours. You did 60 hours to beat me by 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's I didn't say that, but yeah, maybe I was thinking it on the podium.
You did 60 hours. I did 7. I did 428. Yeah. Right. Thank you, bud. Now. When will this air?
A couple of weeks after the Roth race. Yeah. Quite a lot of editing to get, obviously 6 months of training that we've got to cut down into a 20-30 minute YouTube video, but it will air on the GTN channel a couple of weeks after
I can't wait to watch. It's gonna be really fun. Thanks for taking time. Always
Thanks
such a treat to see you.
Yeah, and
James Cunnama has been our guest. 1 hour a day challenge. Watch it on GTN. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hold on, we'll be right back.